Perfect. Okay, wait. Alright, we're just gonna start off. Okay, yep. Take a deep breath in. We're gonna start off with the opening up our neck. So bring your right ear over to your right shoulder. Just stretch that out. Yes. And then just start taking half circles. Moving in. Alright, great. Awesome. So now bring your shoulders up to your ears and then bring them back. Yes. Awesome. 2 more like that. Inhale, bring your shoulders up. Exhale, down your back. 1 more like that. Inhale, up. Exhale, down your back. Alright, awesome. From here, bring your right foot over your left. Yes. And then on your inhale, bring your hands all the way up. Grab your right wrist with your left hand and move over to the left hand side. Awesome. Y'all look great. Thank you. Alright, just breathe here and come back to center. Same thing on the other side. So bring your left foot over your right. Inhale, bring your hands all the way up. Grab your left wrist and then scoot over to the right. Awesome. Take 1 more breath here and release back to center. Cool, cool, cool. Now we're going to do a couple of cat-cows. So bring your hands on your shoulders, right? On your inhale, you're going to round your back like you're a cat. Good cat. And then exhale, look up, point your chest for the sky. All right, 2 more like that. Match them with your breath. So inhale, round, and exhale, look up. Awesome. 1 more like that. And exhale. All right. We're good. Okay, loose. Y'all feel good? All right, let's go. Yay. Cool. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Right in time.
This is yours?
We were getting asked to stop anyway. Alright. Cool. So what we kind of wanted to do next is just kind of have everybody introduce themselves a little bit, what it is that their project is, what do you guys do, whatever that means for you.
Dan, answer there.
And then also
one of the
if you're wearing a costume, just talk about your costume. If you're not,
I go for a chicken too.
think about
Well, I mean,
if
did
you
you order?
were wearing a costume, what would it be? Yeah.
Because she ordered it right.
So
Whoa. Wood straw.
I mentioned it. I said it was a costume party.
Yeah, they're still making mine, I guess.
Yeah, it's okay. You can talk about the costume that you would wear. Yeah, exactly.
That's
Alright.
a lot, bro.
You can talk about the costume that you would wear.
Okay.
You want to go first? And then I'll finish off? Yeah, sure. Alright. Just to give you an idea. Okay. So, hello. Oh, yeah, we go here. The center. Hello, everybody. My name is Annette Mago. And I'm a visual artist by trade. But about a year before I graduated, I decided that I wanted to start an artwear brand. So that's mostly what I do. I design clothes and I make them. My artwear brand is called Aloevi, and then I also came up with this really cool idea to have a community of small vendors and entrepreneurs and creatives in South Florida. And I was like, hey best friend, hey bestie, do you want to make this a real thing? So now we have Pana Club. Yay! Thank you. And I'm also a paint instructor, so yeah, I do a little bit of everything. I did that about an hour ago. Yeah, do that. And I'm a genie because I'm granting all you guys wishes. And that's me. Okay. So if anybody wants to go next, you guys can come up on the platform or not.
Posing the circle.
We're just gonna go like this, just to make it easier.
So, hello, I'm Kat. I own Rogue Apothecary, which is an herbal store. We carry a lot of herbs. I make teas, tinctures, smoke blends. We carry a lot of different hemp products as well. Yeah, I do that. And I'm artsy too. Yeah.
I work.
I'm big on arts and community, and one of the big things that I wanted to work on with Rogue Apothecary was to either start my own community or join communities with like-minded individuals. And I love working local. I think what you guys are doing is wonderful. If I would have remembered the costume, I totally would be rocking cat ears right now, as I'm a cat. So.
Perfect. Yay!
Hello, I'm Julia. I work for Pat. I'm a humanitarian. I am a FIU student, and I think it's great what you guys are doing, like a small community in Miami. We're in Miami.
Yeah, we're in Miami. Little Haiti specifically.
Yes. And, I think it's great what you guys are doing. I love that. And if I had to come with a costume, if I would have known, I would have worn Laura Croft. Because I've been trying to be Laura Croft for like the last like 3 years, and I couldn't be her. Like everything has gone wrong. I don't know why. And I could just never go out. I'm like, no, it's so annoying. So
You have the gear for it?
yes, I have everything. Like I have like the guns. Like I have like everything.
Cool.
I gotta do it.
Cool.
I know. I'm doing it this year.
I thought it was on you.
No, you first, please.
Hi, y'all. I'm St. James. I'm an artist. And I'm a communist, too, you know, full disclosure. I do a lot of work in the community, Little Haiti specifically, so that's awesome. Trying to fight against gentrification, police, prisons. I'm an abolitionist. I heard artist community, and I was like, yeah, cool, let's see what's up. I'm an audio engineer, producer, also guitar player. I also teach music, and I teach poetry at Brownsville Middle School and North Miami Senior High, so I do a lot of things. And yeah, if I had to pick a costume, I'd probably be my spirit animal, which is black sheep.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm gonna stand up because I'm like behind everyone.
Hello, my name is Dan. I'm a vocalist for Barrows. I go to Full Sail University. I study music business. I love to manage social media or work for anything in the entertainment business. I've always been doing music since I was 3 years old. If I had to pick a costume, I would be Storm from the X-Men.
Yeah.
But I'm doing this Halloween, so I'm very excited. I think that's it. Yeah. Oh, also, I see a bunch of you with septums. I have a septum that's stuck, so if you guys have pointers, please let me know. I don't want to be stuck. Yeah, it's a clicker. Yeah, it won't open. So if you please have any pointers, let me know. Please.
Interesting.
Maybe. I'm thinking of cutting it.
Pliers where it opens, it should.
Maybe. I tried with a paper clip, bobby pin, like pushing it up, all my force. It's not popping out. I don't know. I'm spooky forever.
Okay, hi guys, my name's Omar. I'm a producer and a guitarist for The Barrows.
Check my out there.
There's all of us right here. I started making music like 2 years ago, and just throughout my journey I met these like amazing people, and we decided to work together and make some cool stuff. If I had to wear a costume, I don't usually dress up, but maybe I dress up again as Post Malone.
Yeah.
Post Malone.
Oh, okay.
I did that one year.
Okay.
But yeah.
Nice.
My name is Robin. I am the drummer, and I also do some vocals for the Varros. I've always just liked like entertainment and like music and stuff like that. So I definitely want to do stuff in that area, especially like music with this band. They're cool as hell. And yeah, if I were to come up dressed up today in a costume, I honestly don't know, but I am gonna be Patrick Bateman from American Psycho this Halloween.
Okay.
Yeah.
As a joke, though. I
He's totally me.
You're not seriously
I just like
gonna
making
be
fun of it.
Patrick Bateman.
It would work.
It's like,
Thank you.
Alright, my name is Matthew. I am a vocalist, rapper, and lyricist, also part of the Varas. Another thing about myself is I'm a poet. I've self-published a poetry book. Like, I don't know if it was like about a year ago, something like that. A little bit more about myself is I'm currently an FIU student. I'm an English education major, and I also tutor. I'm a reading and learning tutor there. And yeah, that's pretty much everything. And this is my Halloween costume, I guess.
yes, Jack-o'-lantern shirt, awesome.
Hey, my name's Clarabelle. I own a honey company. Like, I make flavored honey. So, yeah, that's how I met Rogue. Yeah. So I have like different flavors. My brother's a beekeeper, and I'm also a yoga teacher. So, as you guys saw, you guys were great.
That was a free sample, by the way.
Thank you.
Just one of the perks, Pana perks. Yeah, so I'm also a food broker, so that's what I can contribute to the group too. But yeah, we met at a market. I don't know if you guys know Center for Subtropic Affairs. No, it's also very close to here. And yes, yes, but unfortunately that space is no longer open. It literally is closing. They just announced it like a little bit ago. So I know a lot of these like really cool spots for like artists and like musicians like are all closing up basically because we're getting pushed out kind of. So we kind of
yeah, that's what happened.
this so the only way for us to like all like improve is like to come up together basically. I think like instead of us like working like all in different directions, maybe if we pool our resources and really like we can make Miami known for small vendors. So that's like for like a thriving community, like thriving art. So that's really the vision. Yeah.
Awesome. Kat and Julia, I just wanted to remind you that if you guys want something to eat, here are the QR codes. Yeah. So awesome. Thank you for that, Caribe. Yes, Snapbook. Thank you for everybody. Everybody's presentations was awesome. Yeah. We're just gonna go a little bit into like, you know, this is kind of like segueing to what we wanted to kind of like reiterate, which is just kind of talk about what Pana Mia is, what it's about, and the reason that we had you guys stretching is because we're gonna throw a lot of information at you. I'm not gonna lie. It's gonna be a lot of information. And it's literally the whole idea is that we just kind of wanted to establish for everybody what is our intention in like creating this club and what it's about. And then kind of like the crazy plans that we have long term.
Yeah, as we're like dreaming, like we came up with all these ideas and we want to like come back to the community and be like, hey, what do you think like is a priority? Like what are you guys excited about? Yeah.
So if you're gonna like, be wording all this information, can we get an email with the information as well?
Yes.
Yeah. So we can actually probably
Just basically
include
the agenda.
Yeah, the agenda that we're gonna read off of.
Yep.
In an email.
Agenda.
Yes.
And we're also recording this also because there's a lot of people. I mean, at this point we have about 30 panas, and so like ranging from like embroidery to like us like communities where they're like I don't know. There's collectives, tarot readers. We got food vendors. Yeah, a lot of musicians. A lot of musicians.
Yes, I'm actually very excited to see like how the musician part of Pana Mia kind of like cultivates because one of the things that we want to do is create like communities within communities because since our thing is so open-ended, we're gonna get into all of that later. But since everything is so open-ended, we realize that like a lot of the people that come into Pana Mia are gonna be in similar industries. So what we would love is for like the people under Pana Mia that are in similar industries to connect with each other. So we're gonna go into like a little bit about that as well. But basically what we wanted to start off with was just kind of like talking about what Pana Mia means, what it's about. Well, first of all, you know, just so you guys know, Pana is like homie in Venezuelan slang and general Hispanic slang, right? And then Mia, obviously, like my homie or homie Miami. It's like sort of that idea where it's like it's local. We're just like trying to invite community. So just kind of dissecting the name for you there. But so just like starting off, being a small business owner or a creative in South Florida may be really overwhelming and isolating at times, but you aren't alone. Miami is filled with small vendors, all with different strengths and skill sets. We started Pana Mia as a way to bring everyone together, to pool our resources, insights, and strategies to become a more collective and cooperative approach to engaging customers interested in supporting local. As customers start recognizing the benefits of shopping local, we want to create a centralized space where they can all explore and fall in love with local brands. So the whole idea is there's technically 3 parts to Pana Mia, which is Pana Mia Club aims to be part locals directory, part vendor and artist community, and part resource hub. Okay? So what that means is that we want the biggest part that we're trying to develop right now is the locals directory, because we want to build that audience for you guys, like we want to build that audience for ourselves, right? So the whole idea is if we come together and create our own locals directory, let's say somebody is like, you know, thinking that they want to shop gluten-free croquetas and pastelitos, right?
I have to go to Whole Foods.
They would have to go to Whole Foods, exactly, instead of shopping local when there's, in reality, a lot of bakeries nearby that could provide that service. So the idea is if they were looking for something like that, they could go and like search on our directory, and then they would be able to find that person, and then that's fueling the local economy that way. So I'm just gonna go through like a little bit each point, right? I was just talking about the directory. I have it all written down here. Vendors perpetually struggle with getting their product in front of target audiences and patrons who want to support local, and locals, patrons, struggle with the convenience of shopping at big box stores for everyday errands. I mean, we've all fallen victim to this, right? Like last minute gifts, where do you go? TJ Maxx, right? Often supporting local is designated to sporadic events that fail to provide consistency for either party. So, for example, her running a honey business, a lot of times she gets people come up to her and say like, wow, I would love to get your honey every weekend, but of course like she's only there in that event that one day. So it's not necessary. It can turn into repeat buys, but it's a little bit difficult. Like anybody who's been a vendor,
Object permanence. It's
object
not in your
permanence,
face,
literally.
Like, people forget.
Exactly.
It's not anything bad about the people, just people forget. If
Exactly.
you're not there, people don't see you, people forget.
Exactly. That's why you have to be always constantly on social media, because if you're not in front of people's faces, they're going to forget about you. So, so our goal is to meet the needs of both by creating a local directory of small vendors in Miami. If customers want to shop for X, they can filter through different categories and directly reach out to the vendor that meets their needs. The categories allow for virtually all Pana members to be listed, and we can also rotate featured vendors of the month to highlight specific members. This makes it easier and more convenient to shop local. So essentially we want to like just bring like the locals to the patrons, like kind of like merge that disconnect. And we're gonna go into a little bit later specifically what our plans are to make that happen, but not now. I'm gonna go on to my next point. Okay, so next is vendor workshop. So this is kind of talking about part resource hub, right? So Miami is filled with small vendors, all with different strengths and skill sets, like we were talking about. We started Pana Mia Club as a way to bring everyone together to pool our resources, insights, and strategies. On our sign-up form, vendors can specify if they want to offer workshops to the community. Topics include general knowledge such as shipping, web design, and tax write-off info. However, it can also include more industry-specific knowledge such as how to take a food product to market, sourcing solutions in apparel, and music production. So we want to compile an open source document of links that will be easy to access for all of our members. Eventually, we would like to produce a series of workshops from community members available to everyone. So the whole idea behind this is, I don't know if you guys like saw the website that Virgil Abloh like made after he passed. Okay, well, he obviously didn't make it after he passed, but like it's still up there now. So essentially, like when I started my clothing brand, like that was actually ended up being like a really good resource for me. And all it was, it was just a bunch of links. It was just a bunch of links to like like YouTubes and websites and whatever. And it was like specifically talking about like if you wanted to start your own clothing brand, which is what I wanted to do. So through there, I found my wholesale, like where I like buy like my wholesale product from. Like it also has information about like if you want to build your own like company license, business license, whatever it is. But the whole idea is that is all information that was kind of like brought together, and that's essentially what we want to do. So that's another project that we're trying to develop where like no matter what industry you're in, like if you're contributing, if somebody else is also a Pana member and has that expertise, that they can put that like open source information, whatever, YouTube clips, websites, links, or even their own like tutorials, whatever it is, onto our platform so we can have all of that there, and then you can search for whatever it is that you're looking for specifically.
Yeah. But also within the community, we want to be able to share these things, like going through and like getting a product on the shelf. Like I can talk to someone who like just made a great donut and they want to sell these donuts and they don't know how to like put a donut on the shelf. Yeah. So like being able to like a lot of times there's a lot of jargon, there's a lot of like barriers to entry for small vendors, and that shouldn't be there. Like we're not competing against each other. The truth is like if I help this person out, it's not like they're not going to buy my honey. Like we're competing against like box chain stores basically. And so, like, bringing everyone up is the way to go.
And that's really the truth. Like, I think in Miami, sometimes, like, a lot of people can be a little bit scared to share all of their resources. Like, they're inclined a little bit to gatekeep. But in the end, like, we all have the same competitor, you know, which is big industry. So we should be, I don't know, like, kind of like one of our central ideas is, like, help each other out. Because together we're stronger, you know? Thank you. And then lastly, I wanted to go over our vendor community, right? So what, like that kind of leg of Panamia that we also want to develop. So we would like to be host to an ever-changing and ever-growing active list of local entrepreneurs and artists. Our intention is to host a space where creatives and entrepreneurs in similar intersecting industries can discuss and ask for help and advice, or even collaborate on projects. It will also allow us to directly reach our members for club projects and get feedback, suggestions, or direct help as we progress. So kind of like a sub point of this, which is also like one of the biggest things that we've been like trying to build ever since we started Panamia, is kind of like a Yelp for vendors. So what we wanted to do is specifically because we've had a lot of experiences as vendors where you like want to go to a market and then, nobody, like you don't know what that market is going to be like, but you know that it's like $60, right? And you don't really have anybody to ask. None of your other vendor friends have ever been, right? So the whole idea behind like this like Yelp for vendors is that like individual vendors can kind of like review the markets that they've been to, or maybe this could also be extended to venues like for shows and musicians. Let's say like, hey, I played at this venue and the like owner was very receptive, or he wasn't, or he didn't like, it wasn't very accommodating, whatever it is. So the idea is that you review it, and that way like other people in the future can see like those details, and you can be also as detailed as you want. So like if you want to omit like your name, whatever, like the date, you want to talk about like that specific event, it's like up to you. So it's kind of serves as a resource that we have going forward, and it's only available to vendors. So it's only available to Pana members, I should say. So we have it up on our website. We're still kind of figuring out how to like, have that there. We're still kind of figuring it out, but the idea is that like once you get into your Pana account on our website, you'll be able to see that information, so it's not just open to everybody. So that's like kind of like the three like huge parts that we're like trying to develop. And the community also, like, we're gonna go into that, but it's like also like a very big thing that we want to like build out, where we want to create a space for all of these different industries to kind of like communicate and collaborate and maybe talk about like things specific to like what you guys deal with. Like, you know, me as an artist, me as an art brand owner is going to have radically different problems from you guys musicians or you as an apothecary. So I'm gonna leave it up to Glady next.
So basically, as we were thinking about things to do, we took a look at, because we send out the form. Everyone who like has joined the group has filled out the form. So we took a look at like the needs that people presented, and a lot of them like were basically the same. The first is that like you need exposure. Basically, we're kind of like dipping our toes into the same pool, and so I think that like by like maybe Annette's like customer yesterday is my future customer, but because like they don't know who I am, like there's a disconnect there. And like if I wanted to find like my a new favorite brand, like a local brand, I would have to like endlessly scroll through something, or through Instagram or through Facebook to try to find someone. So like everyone loves convenience, and if we can make it as convenient as possible for people to find like their new favorite brand or their new favorite musician, their new favorite person like in this town, and like also make it more personal, then I think that like that would be one good thing. The other one was people had problems with like, or they wanted access to capital or like financial advice, kind of like how to get set up and whatnot. And then technical work and like building out a website, stuff like that like have a lot of jargon and like are difficult to enter, and then also like content creation. So those are like the four things that we saw people like wanted the most help with, basically, and community. So we have a couple of ideas. So the first one is ways to like how to generate money for our vendors, because like we need to pay bills and like eat and whatnot. So we submitted an application to the Awesome Foundation, which like allows for grants and stuff like that. If any of you know of other grants and things like that help out, please let me know. Yeah, I don't personally have experience with grant writing. Yes.
So I like where I get my herbs. There's a lot of companies you might not even realize that offer a lot of grants that help the community. Like where I get my herbs, they offer a local grants every year that they added to their budget for people that are doing community outreach, educational kind of sort of stuff. And like you'd be surprised how many companies might have programs like which are very easy. You just kind of apply, like, what are you doing? Well, I plan on doing this kind of community class or something like that, and you get funding to do it.
That would be amazing.
Awesome. That's fantastic. Yeah, if you could send us that information, like for us, you know, like right now, if you talk about like sort of like the managing group that is like taking care of like Panamia and like consistently doing everything, it's literally just me and Glady right now. Okay, like I'm the one who designs all of the Pana drops. You know, she's like trying to figure out stuff on the website. So any sort of help, and I mean any sort of help, would be very much appreciated. And then that's also like why we're trying to look for grants right now. So it kind of like, you know, eventually we would love to host like events where, you know, because especially since we have so many musicians, we would love to like produce shows and have vendors and create events. Exactly. Yes.
We're gonna write that down, right?
So grants would definitely like help us achieve like a lot of the stuff that we're trying to come up with. So if anybody has like any sort of information on that, yeah.
The other idea we had was to eventually have a digital like libro de cupones on the website, like a little book of like coupons, and it can be like just, you know, everyone loves a sale. Like anything on sale, people generally like are more attracted to. So it's something that we could offer, like for people on the website and whatnot. And then another thing that we had, an idea that we had for people who sell physical objects, is to create like a local subscription box, and it can be thematic. Like I mean, it was too early, but we could have done like a Halloween box or like a Dia de los Muertos box where like we have like people selling soap or different kinds of herbs, things that are like on theme. And so that would like help vendors out. It could be rotating so that each vendor gets the opportunity to like benefit from it. And it also like spreads the word about, you know, people get to try a product basically. And it's kind of like a gift.
Yeah,
So.
I mean, do you guys know what Ipsy is?
Yeah.
There you go. So like you pay something like $15 a month. For us, it would definitely be a little bit more expensive.
Yeah.
Because it's all local.
Exactly.
But it would be, and then it could be like themed per month, or like not. You know, like it would just be like, oh, summer Pana Mia box, right?
Yeah.
And then the idea is that we would collaborate with a bunch of different vendors and figure out a way. Like obviously, the details are very fuzzy on this because we're kind of
These
we're
are just
waiting
all our
to.
ideas.
Yes, these are ideas. This is kind of like an idea that for sure we really want to get started on, but we're kind of waiting until we have the audience and we have like more confidence in like the Pana members, because you know, like it's still like very new, so we're trying to build up the community and have that like more of like a stronger relationship with them. But the idea is eventually that like we have the subscription box, and it's kind of like a sampling of like all of these different vendors within the local community. So it generates money for the group so that we can like still be like sustained, and then obviously it generates money for our vendors, and then also in turn it's more exposure for everybody all around.
Yes. The other one was again for like physical products to have like a master catalog of like items, because I think that there's a lot of stores that would be interested in bringing in more local items, but like buyers don't normally have like the capacity to deal with all these small retailers or like manufacturers. So if they could get a centralized catalog of like, oh, here are all the local vendors that you can buy from, here's like wholesale pricing, here's like minimum shipping or for shipping, like all these things, I think that they would be more willing to, if we could present to them something that's like consistent, they can rely on the inventory. It's like with a reputable like source, like I think that they'd be more willing to like separate an entire like end cap for local products, like that are just like that we bring catalog and they decide what's best for their customer. Yeah, so that was another idea that we had.
So that is like very much for local retailers. So like, you know, small consignment shops, small like shops that, you know, have like a little bit, you know, like boutiques, right? Or maybe like local grocers, right? That are also trying to like source local products. So that's kind of like the idea behind that. And Claudia especially has like idea in that field because it's one of her jobs.
Yeah. So yeah, the other one was that we would really love to have like events. Basically, you got heavy yourself and like you talked about events, but yeah, essentially we'd like to like host events. We have a lot of musicians who have joined the group, so like you guys, I would love to have like an event where we have all our local music, like local vendors. So just to like, yeah, and that's something that both like we would need help with, obviously. But yeah, we were talking to someone who has like experience in event planning, and so yeah, that was one of our ideas to how to generate like money for you, money for like everyone together.
Yeah. Obviously, like just like to help all of the musicians get exposure, we specifically wanted to call them Pana parties. So that's the whole idea, like because we wanted to be also like a party, you know? Like it's not like a, I mean, we love vendor markets, but you know, there's vendor markets anywhere, everywhere. I feel like what really drives people is like also like the idea of like having a good time and then, you know, also having that shopping experience. And eventually we would love to have these events consistent enough to the point that we could actually like offer subscriptions. So like, you know, people that like want to attend our events often, they could like just like subscribe monthly and then, you know, like just like get in, you know?
Yeah.
So then that kind of like offers more of like a consistent base of like, you know, funds that we could be working off of instead of just kind of like, oh, I ran out or something like that.
Yeah. we also, I mean, we talked about the workshops, how we want to be able to have, workshops on, like, Annette in particular, like, knows all about, like, the different ways of how to print on clothing. And so, like, being able to, I don't know, if someone were, like, interested in developing their own clothing brand or something similar, they would, benefit a lot from having the insider knowledge and, like, not committing the same mistakes. Because, like, God forbid, like, I would have told myself, like, to check UPC labels because I printed the wrong UPC label on one of my products and I had to, like, individually, like, but, like, things like that where it's just, like, you wouldn't think of it if you hadn't made the mistakes. And so, how do we avoid, those types of things?
Like if you're a community member with that amount of experience and you're, like it's an opportunity for you to gain exposure and also for you to share your wisdom with the community. So, like people can look to you as like, sort of like a mentor. And then it's really just like you sharing your experiences and how you've like been able to like grow in your specific industry and your specific project. So, for example, like one of the very first workshops that we tried to figure out when we first got started was, what was it? It was self-published. Yeah, so we had like two local writers that had self-published, and we wanted to create a workshop for like specifically writers that were looking to do that as well. So that's kind of the idea, but of course it opens up to like any industry. If you like want to teach a workshop on music production, if you want to teach a workshop on I don't know, Reiki healing, whatever it is. Yeah, like just like we have that list, when you guys like signed up on the form, and like once we start kind of like figuring out how to produce a series of workshops, we'll definitely like invite you. And yes.
Will the workshops be just for Pana members, or would that be open to the public?
We would open those up to the public.
Yeah, because I mean, I think that's something that like that people love is to know who is making the things that they buy and how the process is. It brings like a level of like appreciation for what people do, like being able to watch someone at their craft, like while they're like lovingly make a shirt or something. I think that's such cool. I think it's good for community building. Speaking of community, we were going to try to build the community on Discord. We're going to try to do it on Discord. I think it's the best for building community. Yep. So right now we have a Discord. We have a moderator for the music, and we have a moderator for art and music. We're working with a guy named Pablo. I think he should be here.
So you said Discord?
Yes,
The
Discord.
app?
Discord, the app. Yeah.
I'm old. I'm still trying to figure out how to use it.
Discord is a bit of a learning curve. I honestly don't like it either.
It's like a forum.
Yeah.
It's
It took.
like a mini.
It's like a chat room.
Yeah.
Yes.
It has different rooms, different discussion boards.
I got it. I just don't fail. But now I got a reason to get on it.
Yeah.
And you can do voice
this?
chat as well. So you guys have a couple of voice
Yeah,
chats.
we could do like lounges and like being able to talk. Yeah, so there's different ways of communication on there. We're gonna have one specifically for like questions that one may have, like if you run into a problem or if you run into something that you think the community knows, like ask the question and then someone might know and be able to help out. So stuff like that. But yeah, it's not. I think that it's a little bit. It takes a little bit of onboarding for people who don't really get it, but like we're trying to make it as intuitive as possible. So just let us know if like you think that we should have something different on the Discord, if you like the structure. Like very much like this group is like open source, so whatever it is that you like can bring to the table, if it's any suggestions, like
I'm
we're open
going to
to.
suggest adding a chat room for like free stuff or things that people are giving away that might be useful for other vendors.
Yes.
Like I have a shit ton of hangers that I've been wanting to like see like what clothing vendors might be able to use. Like I have a whole bag of them.
So interesting that you mentioned that. because we actually just today we posted this Pana drop about a new Pana. They have it's actually a collective. It's called Recreate Miami, and it's for artists that like if they have surplus materials or like just whatever it is. By the way, hit me up about those hangers because I might take you up on that offer.
It's overflowing. I want to get rid of them.
How did you get them?
So my mom just moved back, so her closet is in my living room. So we've been getting rid of stuff and just have like a shit. And they're good, like good plastic hangers, like big thick ones. Like they're good hangers.
Definitely, yeah. Hit me up
You don't
about
just want to
that.
throw them away. I was looking, how do you recycle them? Or like, what do I do with them? I was like,
Perfect.
there we go.
But yeah, so one of the things that we were proposing is actually because she kind of operates solely in Instagram. So like she has like this like Instagram account called Recreate Miami, and the way that it works is that like she kind of just like has people like tag her on the account, and then like she posts about like the materials that people are like asking to like trade or to give away or whatever it is. And they've been looking for like a place to actually have their like, you know, like have all of the materials in one place, because a lot of people like ask to drop it off. Obviously we can't provide that, but what we can provide is like a more just like a forum through in the Panamia server that like they can maybe, so we've been like kind of like discussing that with them, so that's something that we also might include like in the future. So some additional things that we might be able to do. So we have the market review, but I think that in the future, if we get like a community of panas and we become well known, or like people start to recognize, we could like kind of like unionize kind of into getting like cheaper vendor fees. Or just like, or other like, other things. Yeah, whatever it is, but like just a group. Yeah. Yep. Let's see. We also like, in terms of content creation, some people said that they like wanted help with that. We could partner up with like photographers and do like a bulk kind of like photography session. Whether that be like for like group shots or product shots or something like that, where it brings content creation parties, because it's so exhausting. And so if we
all in one day for like 4 or 5 hours, get everything together to set up the space. I've seen it done a couple of times and like I'd love to go to something like that.
Perfect. Yeah, there you go. That's essentially the idea of like, you know, maybe do one of those per quarter. It's basically it. Sure. Oh, no. One thing that we want to talk about is on the Discord, there is a space where you can drop any content and we will post it. Because please, like, videos, like, Reels do so well on Instagram. And I know we're dropping Pana drops, but if you give us videos, we'll post them. So, just trying to get the word out there, making it easier on us so that we don't have to recreate the wheel. We can just get more exposure for you. Yeah, basically. Yeah, I mean, essentially, it's like, you know, the content that we want to create is like from the community anyways. So like what we would love for it to like, so we can just like consistently be posting content, because like I can tell you like right now it's only pretty much Pana drops. Like we spent I think like 2 hours like the day before yesterday like making reels for today. We didn't even like post most of them, but
that will happen a lot.
Yeah. So what we would love to happen is that like we have like this chat room already set up on the Discord. So if you have like video clips, if you have like photography, if you have like whatever it is, just like media that you're like wanting to promote, just drop it into the forum, and then like you can do like, you know, just kind of like compiled reels, like just like and tag like everybody involved, right? Or we can do like a feature. What we would love to do eventually is actually like specific artist, creator, entrepreneur features. So like work with a specific Pana member and then kind of like interview them about their process, about their project, where they're from, you know, why it is that they do what they do, and then kind of like post that feature and then have like that Pana member of the month feature or whatever. So like what, and you know, if you guys also have like any ideas of like routine content creation that we can incorporate.
Yeah, this all sounds like a YouTube channel.
Yeah, we also
Like a
want to
TV
create
channel,
a YouTube channel. Like for this, we're gonna upload it to YouTube and then send the link out to everybody because nobody's gonna receive a 2-hour file, okay? But like once we have vendor workshops, we also want to record them and put them up on the channel. So definitely, like we're gonna incorporate the channel. Hi guys, thank you so much for coming. I mean, sit down wherever, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, so like some of the content we thought about was like a monthly like tarot reading or like the herb of the month could be like whenever you guys release new music or a new project, stuff like that. Yep. And then it's basically all of our ideas actually. So that's a lot. Thank you. So now we want to hear back from you and like open up the floor to hear like what you guys basically thought.
That was inspiring.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Very inspiring.
We need more stuff like this in the and you're right, it is us against the bigger corporate people. Like honestly, that's true. Because they have the money to market to get themselves out there. We have each other.
Yes.
And this is the
Us, you guys.
networking.
And the worst part is that they take our creativity and then they do it like cheaper and in higher quantities. So it's harder to like get ahead. So that's why I feel like it's all the more important to like, you know, help each other out because it's already so hard by yourself.
Legal stuff about protecting your rights, trademarking, like your music or your art or your clothing brand. Trademarking is a really, really big thing that a lot of small companies forget to do and it ends up biting them in the ass.
Yes, I know. I'm a little bit scared. I don't have a trademark yet, but I'm like, I should get one.
Make sure you get all of your stuff on all social media things that you can possibly get. Any email, anything you can easily for free get your name on to timestamp that you've invested your name. That will kind of help you, but it's not guaranteed. If somebody files the paperwork before you, you're kind of fucked.
Right.
Unfortunately, and that's
Right.
the truth of it. That's legal stuff, especially in the art world and like creators. It's a big thing about learning to protect yourself.
So I know you guys are kind of coming in a little bit late. That's okay. And we just kind of like a little extra canvas. We just kind of went over like just honestly like a huge bunch of ideas that we have like for Panamia and the community going forward. But if you guys want, I would love for you to kind of like introduce yourselves, your name, your project, or whatever it is that you do, and like if you're wearing a costume, what you're dressed as. If not, what costume would you wear? You can go ahead.
Okay, hi, Rebecca. Wait, sorry, what were the questions?
Yeah, just your name, what you do, what your project is, and like if you're wearing a costume, what are you dressed as? And if you're not wearing a costume, what costume would you wear?
Sorry. I do crochet and a little bit of guitar stuff, and I'm not wearing a costume, but I would be Kila from Punto, everybody knows for
I'm Zach. I don't do any artistic things. I'm more here just because, like people said, this is a really good idea. Like, I lived in Palm Beach prior. We just moved to Miami area, and I was like, this is a great spot to figure out how to meet like cool people who are doing cool things down here. And like you said, like, shop local, and I love buying local. So that's fun. And I really like this shirt, and I think if I could get like a comic book costume going out of it, I would. But this is the only thing that I have.
I can see it. I can see it. Nice. All right. Cool. Yes. Yes. Welcome to our
Should everyone introduce themselves? Should everyone like say a little bit like groups?
Oh, do you guys want to do that again? Just kind of like
This is the Varos. They're a local band.
the bar.
The Varos.
There's like a train.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we still need that link. Get the music thing.
For the
Yeah.
Barrels, we have a song coming out tonight. It drops at 12 a.m., so that's really, really cool.
oh my god! You have a new song.
That's so cool. Yes. And then we have Rogue Apothecary and Julia that works for Kat. That is the one who Rogue Apothecary team. St. James, musician. And then my aunt and her daughter, my cousin Lisette, just came in. She's an artist, like me. Her favorite cousin. Huh? Oh yes, and I'm Annette. So I'm an artwear brand designer. I also have like a little art instructor business that I'm trying to put together. It's called Amo Art Club. We'll see. It's like just like paint parties and stuff. And then also I'm the co-director, I guess, of this community, Pana Club. So obviously you guys are like welcome to like come and chill out and just like if you have any questions, whatever it is, like just let us know.
Yeah.
And then you go.
I'm Claudia. I have a honey company, so I make flavored honey. I'm also a yoga teacher, and so
Yeah.
love local.
So we were just kind of like, again, like kind of like discussing everything. And I think what is it that we wanted to do next? I'm sorry.
I think that we wanted them to like write on the
Oh yeah. No, I already have them signed in.
Oh,
Yeah. No worries.
I missed that.
Yeah. So we were actually kind of we just were wondering like I don't know if you guys would be interested in having like maybe a bi-monthly sort of meetup like this, just kind of like touch base or like have like maybe subcommittees that were like dedicated to like some of the projects that we're working on, because what we were really interested in and what we were really hoping for was actually if there are people that are really excited about developing one part of this like community that we're building, if they wanted to actually like help us develop that.
Yeah.
So I mean,
If it's
just
a
like
project that you believe in, or there's like a certain thing that you're passionate about, like we'd love any help at all.
So like, like I said before, it's just me and Claudia right now. Trying to build everything out, trying to make this huge, huge dream happen. So if either of you are like interested in just kind of like pitching in on like one specific part, like for example, even if it is just like becoming an active member of the Discord community that we're trying to build. So that's, huh?
Send the link.
Okay.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
So like that's actually something that we're building within Pana Club, which would be like even if like whatever it is, like what we would like to have is like different communities that belong to like different industries. So like aside of our Pana server on Discord for musicians, for artists, for like food vendors, whatever it is, to talk about like their specific experiences, the specific obstacles that they encounter in their field within that like space. So, and then on top of that, like also have communications with the community directly. So when it comes to we want to create sort of like consistent content, like stem from like projects that some of our members are doing. So what we'd love to happen is you working on your newest crochet piece. Like maybe you created like a little time lapse of you creating it and you want to promote it. You send it in our Discord, and then we create like a sort of content from it, and then we tag you, and then that's content for us, and it's also exposure for you. So that's sort of the idea that we want to create within our Discord. Also, obviously, like events and like event planning would go on there. Like announcements would also be on our Discord, like just for the Panamia community in general. So that's what we're trying to build out. I'm sorry, why did I start talking about Discord? Okay. Well, yes.
Relevant. Have like discussion.
Exactly. Yeah, by the way, we've recorded all of this, so we're gonna send it to everybody. And like you can have like the link and just kind of like fast forward or like just see like kind of like the intro of what we were talking about. And yeah, so we kind of just like wanted to invite everybody, like if they have like any other ideas of like what it would be like cool for us to like maybe like take on like a specific project. Like we had the idea for, you know, content creation parties. You know, so if you
so this is maybe like one every like 2 months, but I think that like more importantly we want to kind of like get the word out there to other people. So like having events where, or having like a subcommittee that's like working on an event, a specific event, or like something that's like more. But we obviously still do want to have like meetings where we meet each other and hopefully like meet people. Yeah.
Do you want to have them here? Or like in like a different...
I mean, they don't have to be here specifically. They could be elsewhere.
Are you going to be working with locations like that?
How big are you going to get?
For the events? Or for the events that we want to put on like a concert and stuff like that?
I mean, it really depends on the help that we get.
Yeah.
Because I have like very minor experience in event production. Like we did this, okay? We did this. Also, thank you.
No, the beginning starts somewhere. Like
Yes, exactly.
This is a good
Thank you.
One hell of a good start. Okay?
Yeah, like
Appreciate it.
yeah, you guys should definitely think about working with specific locations and stuff like that.
Yes.
Like this place or other locations with small communities that you can bring in, you know, traction for other smaller businesses and stuff like that. And using the space, which there's so many like hidden gems here in Miami, and like people don't know about it.
That's
so that
very
would
much
also
true.
bringing kind of a location.
That's very,
Yeah.
very true.
You were saying like you would post like our stuff?
Yeah. So they have
Like you
Yes.
would post like our stuff.
Literally anything that you post, you can tag us and we'll automatically repost it. We've done it for Rogue. I've done it for you guys, I think.
I told you about this a while ago.
Yeah. So and like also we have the locals playlist for musicians specifically, which is the Soulful Sounds playlist that we have on Spotify. We also have somebody that's gonna start curating that. But it's also like, you know, whoever's a Pana member, like we have like a couple of songs like in that specific Spotify like playlist that is like, you know, also collaborative. So yeah, I'm just gonna turn off the recording now.